not sticking together. I think that NATO made a terrible mistake when they wouldn't send a small amount of military armament, when they wouldn't send just even acknowledge what we were doing for the world and taking on Iran. I never considered it very risky, but war is always risk. You know, a lot of strange things happen in war that are very bad, but I didn't consider it. I know how great we're the greatest military by far anywhere. There was nobody close. I didn't think there was a big risk, but there's always surprises with war. They can be very bad surprises. I mean, wars are lost that should be won. Many wars are lost. You think a country is going to wipe somebody out and they end up getting wiped out themselves. So it's always risky. But I think a tremendous mistake was when NATO just wasn't there. They just weren't there. It's going to make a lot of money for the United States because we spend hundreds of billions of dollars a year on NATO, hundreds of protecting them. And we would have always been there for them. But now, based on their actions, I guess we don't have to be, do we?
Mr. President.
That sounds like a breaking story, yes, sir? Is that...
At the U.S. side's proposal, the ROK and the United States agreed to make certain adjustments to the duration, scale, and other aspects of the exercise. First, they agreed to adjust the duration of this UFS exercise to run from the 17th through the 21st. Going forward, the ROK and the United States agreed to discuss and implement various measures to achieve the objectives of the UFS exercise and establish a combined defense posture.
So the United States is pulling out of South Korea because Trump doesn't appreciate them not coming to his rescue about a war, an unnecessary war that he has started. Listen, if you've been following me for some time, I already told you what was to come, right? I've already said exactly what this is. A lot of this is smoke and mirrors, right? Could it be that he doesn't like, them not coming to his aid? Absolutely. Europe, he did the same thing with many European countries. They're not coming to his aid over a unnecessary war that could possibly, bring in all regions of the earth into a third world war. Who is trying to do that? Right? Especially when, like I said, it is unnecessary. And then he goes on to mention, oh, I'm good friends with, Kim Jong-un, right? The North Korean leader. He's really good friends. That's one of the things that he said, right? To justify him not, wanting to do any kind of military operations with South Korea anymore. Let me tell you exactly what this is for those of you who don't understand, geopolitics. I am a learner myself, so bear with me. Listen, what America is simply doing, what the military industrial complex is doing is consolidating, right? Look at everything that's been going on. Why do you think they are getting rid of all safety nets? Why do you think that they're cutting aid? Why do you think, for them to pull this off, right? Before we get back on that topic, for them to pull this off, they have to convince the American people that it's in their best interest. So the people who voted for Trump and continue to carry on thinking that he was, doing some magic for you. Yeah, no, he's not. Right? For them to pull this off, they have to convince their base that this is in their best interest, right? So they go on and cut Medicare because one of the big things that they convince their base of is no handouts, right? You don't need any handouts. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You can do it on your own. You don't need daddy government. Meanwhile, the richest people.
Welcome to the afterpill.co, your one-stop shop hub for everything that I offer. Whether you're here to book a one-on-one coaching call, join the Patreon community, explore Horizon Atlas, your relocation app, or access my latest content and resources, you'll find it all right here. Choose your path, take action, and start building the life you want.
Walking his land got handouts from the very government that is telling you can't get any handouts. It's really a mind fuck, to be honest with you, right? So they're consolidating because they can't afford it anymore, right? This is a well-known fact. You can go and do your studying. You can study all, empires that were in the fall. This is exactly what happened, right? Their tentacles were spread everywhere across the land, right? We got tentacles in Europe, tentacles in Asia, Africa, you name it, Antarctica, the Americas, South America, Caribbean. We got tentacles everywhere. Now it's unaffordable. It's unaffordable. America can't afford. Look at what's happening, right? The food poison, water poison. The people are out of their minds, right? Nobody can afford anything. People aren't buying anything. People aren't buying homes. People are going homeless, right? It seems like everything is on fire because it is, right? America can no longer afford to have their tentacles everywhere, right? And they, like I said, could there be some truth to, him wanting to punish a country for not, getting along with him to get into the whole Iran situation? It's possible. But if you were to ask me, I would say it's all smoke and mirrors, right? All of this is nothing more than smoke and mirrors, right? They're telling you one thing on the media, but on the back end, there's a whole play. Right? If you haven't been paying attention to South America lately, just look at how, we're trying to gain influence, right? We've already got the utmost influence in pretty much the whole American hemisphere, right? But we've been, just pay attention. We've been meddling in elections. Look at what's been happening, with Colombia, right? The new president in Colombia, he is a U.S. citizen and a Colombian citizen, and with very close ties to Trump. Look at what's been happening with Argentina, right? Look at the billions of dollars. We just gave billions of dollars to Colombia when the new president won, right? We gave billions of dollars to Argentina with the guy that's president over there, right? We're just handing out money. You get $1 billion, you get $1 billion, you get $1 billion, just handing out money to not foreign adversaries, but foreign countries, foreign leaders, right, who are not doing anything for us. And then on top of that, right, we've been receiving meat from Argentina. This is the same meat that is getting recalled, 30,000 pounds of meat. Right? This is the same meat that the United States government was bringing in from Argentina, directly competing with farmers in America. Right? When the ranchers are already going through it. They can't even, they're barely getting by, right? They can barely afford things themselves, right? The corporations are eating up, profits already, kicking them out the door. So it's hectic, right? Argentina, who else? Colombia, you could throw Ecuador in there. As of late, they've been trying to interfere with Brazil's elections that's upcoming, right? So instead of having our tentacles all over the seas, what they're trying to do is consolidate power into one region, right? And the reason why they're trying to do that is because, of course, China is going to always come into the equation, right? China has been slowly but surely creeping their way into the Americas. They're already over here, right? China has the capacity in today's day and age, 2026. China now has the capacity to spread their tentacles everywhere, right? China got all kinds of money, right? They got all kinds of technology, and they're doing it at half the cost of a lot of these American companies, right? And the products are far superior. Look at BYD. Right. If you don't know what BYD, it is a electric car company based in China that far exceeds what Tesla is at this moment. Right. If BYD, and that's one reason why they won't allow BYD into the United States, is because BYD would more than likely put Tesla out of business. Right. You have several tech companies that far exceed what America is able to do. And America charge a premium for their stuff. Meanwhile, China is making a superior product, but for far less, right? So with that being said, China is spreading all across hemispheres, right? They're already in Latin America. They're already in the Caribbean. They're already doing business with many of these countries. And the United States is just trying to come in and control the region, right? They're trying to control the region because, you got to kind of understand it too. Would you want somebody pissing in your backyard, essentially? Right? Would you want somebody doing business in your backyard when this is your backyard? Right? This is you're the empire, you're the world power, right? This is your region. Would you want somebody doing business in your backyard, setting up shop in your backyard, right? For you gangland ninjas, would you want another, somebody who don't belong to your territory, right? In your backyard selling that work, right? Absolutely not. So this is where we are today. But at the same time, some people may look at it as a good thing, right? I can't really call it, right? If you were to ask me my true opinion, I don't think it's necessarily a good thing, right? Because if they're consolidating everything, not just the military, right? If they're consolidating all safety nets, right? All guardrails, right? To the point where, a lot of things are just going to demolish. A lot of things are just going to, go to the wayside, including the infrastructure, including food safety, water safety, including safety itself, right? I don't think it's a good thing, right? And many of you shouldn't look at it as a good thing. You think this is if you're a magatard, right? And if you think that this is a good thing, you've pretty much lost your mind and there's no recouping it, right? This is a pure signal. This is a pure signal of the fall. I hope y'all understand this, right? This is not some military strategy. This isn't some kind of complex plan that Daddy Trump has. No. It is none of that. No, this is simply they're putting up smoke and mirrors. They're using the Iran war as smoke and mirrors as well to lace their pockets with as much money as they possibly can, right? And then go ahead and consolidate the military. So reel back in the military. So removing from Europe, right? Start some BS with Europe, which they've already have. So bring the troops back from Europe, start some BS over in the Asian hemisphere. Let's bring those troops back as well. Let's go ahead and consolidate. We don't need to be all the way over there anyway. It's really just saying without saying that we no longer have the money and the bandwidth to be over in these areas. That's all that there is. That's all that it is. So if you're paying close attention, man, you should already be preparing. Right? You should already be preparing, and all of the guardrails have not even been removed yet. Right? There's more guardrails to be removed. There's more safety nets to be removed. Right? They're already playing with the jobs. they're already playing with the data. Right? They're lying about how many people are actually unemployed. They're already lying about it. Right? To make them look good. Right? We're already in an unnecessary war that we can't afford. Right? You would think a little country like Iran would be one and done. No sirski. No sirski. And then we don't know if this crazy administration, what they will do, if they'll drop a bomb on Iran, we don't even know. And that'll open up a whole can of worms that the world is not even prepared for right now. So y'all let me know what you think down in the comment section. Do you think this is good? Do you think it's bad? Or do you see the writing on the wall? Am I right? Am I wrong? So on and so forth. Are you a geopolitical pundit? Whatever the case is, put it down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let me know what you guys think about what Daddy Trump is doing. Like, comment, subscribe, and listen. The after pill is the ideology. The escape blueprint is the framework. And PFP life is how you should live. In purpose, in freedom, and in power. Make sure you hit the link down in the description. Check out the website. Book a coaching call with me if you've been thinking about relocating. You might want to consider it. You might want to consider it. With all things that's happening right now, you might want to consider it. So hit that link in the description, book a coaching call for me, and also check out horizonatlas.ai, horizonatlas.ai, if you're actually serious about relocation. And if you want to look into visas, residencies, countries, we have hundreds of countries listed over there. So feel free to check it out, and we will see you on the next video. Peace.
Welcome to the afterpill.co, your one-stop shop hub for everything that I offer. Whether you're here to book a one-on-one coaching call, join the Patreon community, explore Horizon Atlas, your relocation app, or access my latest content and resources, you'll find it all right here. Choose your path, take action, and start building the life you want.